Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. As the World Cup is nearing, we are continuing our discussion about the important aspects of bowling today in the World Cup. I have with me Ryan, who's a fantastic analyst of cricket. He has some cricketing roots that he's coming from, so it's always
Yes,
it's always good to have that. Ryan, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, Abrar bhai. How are you? The CEO
I'm
of
good.
our
I'm good.
venture.
Thank you for coming on. I know आपको paycheck नहीं मिला है, but thank you for coming on.
No, no,
and
I'm an
and we
intern, bhai. Happy consultant.
it's good to know. Fez, welcome to the show. सीखो जरा रयान से कुछ.
अरे इन इंटर्नशिप के एज में है यार अभी 22 का एज है भाई हमारा बड़े हुए बाद रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ला दे
Uh, but thank you both for coming on. So we will be talking about the bowling units of all the teams in the World Cup right now. As we know, in your bowling is more important. अभी आजकल मालूम पड़ रहा है कि bowling becomes more important than batting. You know, batting wins you matches, but bowling wins you tournaments. We saw that in 2003 Zahir Khan के era में, where we unfortunately lost in the finals, but Zahir Khan was struggling at that time. You know, so since that time मेरे दिमाग में bowling wins you tournaments बोल के बैठ गया है. So we'll
Yes.
start off by talking about the power play bowlers, the most important power play bowlers. Ryan, let's start off with you. What do you think? Who do you think are the bowlers that you're really looking forward to in this tournament in the power play?
In the power play, although he's coming from a very a poor run of form, I'm looking forward to Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Obviously, in the early overs, especially the condition Australia night time under the lights, ball's going to swing. He's going to be a real menace to the batsman. So one is Bhuvi. And I want to see how Arshdeep also fares in the power play. Maybe not too many overs. Arshdeep and Pandya, I think they could be given an over each, or maybe and one spinner as well, Akshar Patel. So these are three or two to three bowlers of India that I'm very interested in seeing, and of course Trent Bolt for New Zealand. Again, swing is going to be key. So
Yeah.
among the pace bowlers, I'm looking forward to watching Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Trent Bolt, and if you're looking at spin bowling, how spin is used in the power play, I think Rashid Khan, obviously, if oh sorry,
Yeah,
not Rashid Khan, maybe Mujibur Rahman for
Rahman.
Afghanistan.
Yeah,
He's been a weapon for them even in the Asia Cup, and Mahesh Theekshana for Sri Lanka. So
yeah.
these are the bowlers that I'm looking forward to watching in the power play. I mean, you've got your Australian pacers, you've got your English pacers, but these are the ones who have time and again proven they are real key weapons in the power play.
Absolutely. I think fantastic analysis there. Faiz, according to you?
I think I agree with Ryan, but like mostly I'm excited to see the new people like Arshdeep because coming from the Asia Cup, having a very dramatic ending, though he had a very good tournament, and then recently also he's been bowling brilliant. So I'm really excited to see him in this first ever, I think, World Cup that he's going to be playing.
Yeah.
It's going to be vital for his growth, and I think that'll be an amazing experience. Apart from that, I would be a little bit anxious to see Shaheen Afridi's return,
Yeah.
given his track record, because he's coming back after July or August, I think, post an injury. And I think, like I said, I think yesterday also I mentioned that ACL is something that's a little bit dodgy. So you never know if he gets injured in the middle, which obviously I would kind of hope, but I don't want to be rude. But yeah, and I would love to see Ryan again pointed out. I mean, we keep seeing the same players like Pat Cummins, and we know all of these guys already there. But I'm more excited to see the youngsters trying to give a
Yeah.
go at it.
There's
What
two
about you, Don? What do
sections.
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I give you my opinion, I just want to bring it up. You know, you talked about Shaheen Afridi, right? There's two sections in the media right now, especially the Pakistani media that is actually portraying this. There's two sections. One is that they are saying that Shaheen is being rushed back because they want to beat India. There is that section. And the second section is saying that there was no ACL at all. It was a minor muscle injury. He's completely fit. He's ready. So there's two biases that are being proved over there. It's going to be very interesting to see if which one is true. So if Shaheen
Yeah,
plays for India, फिर से injured होके चले गया, तो then that's going to be a big problem because they are not looking at it long term
yeah.
because they
Yeah.
will
But
definitely need him.
Shine already told Virat Kohli injury ACL
ACL
है
का
भाई very.
तो वो भी बोल रहे वो भी बोल रहे कि वो खाली मफल करके अलग 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 आवाजों पे डाल रहे हैं and all that stuff is
Yeah.
coming out. Now we don't really, in this day and age it becomes very hard to know what is the real truth. We have to ask
कुछ नहीं
Virat
भाई,
Kohli.
ससुर जी से पूछना पड़ेगा अब सीधा, शायद भाई से पूछना पड़ेगा शायद भाई
That is,
कुछ.
yeah, has to be from the horse's mouth.
Child,
But
So what about you, Don? Like what are your two options for the power play?
For me, I think honestly, I'm really looking forward to Kagiso Rabada. As usual, you tend to because he is the kind of bowler that you can bring on in the power play over. फिर middle order में if you need a wicket, you bring him on in the middle overs, and that you
Three
keep
phase
two
bowler hai.
overs. How that
He's
you
all
keep two
three phases.
overs exactly. He's just fantastic. I love to see him. I am very excited if they will give a chance to Marco Jansen to come in as the third spacer because Australian conditions may him, Nokia and Rabada is three very different kind of bowlers
Yeah.
because Rabada is a three-dimensional bowler. Nokia will give you that pace. Jansen in the first, you can use him like 2-3 overs in the power play because he'll
Yeah.
swing the ball. You don't need him in the death overs. So I'm very excited about the South African lineup, and then they bring in a Shamsi, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yes.
So they have like a very well-rounded bowling unit. So I think I'm excited to see the South African bowling unit.
Speaking of being excited, we have the big boss all the way from Saudi, Mustafa Ismail, saying that Ryan is the most eligible bachelor in Hyderabad.
Whoa!
So,
When
I think
Faiz Tahir is on the stream, how can I be the most eligible bachelor in Hyderabad?
you are a river, I'm just the stream, brother. That's the whole
Arey,
thing.
no sir, you are the ocean, sir. You are no stream.
We that is a discussion for another day when we'll talk about most
Yes.
eligible bachelors on social get talent.
Yes.
but yeah, that is the unit that I'm looking forward to seeing.
But I mean, Wayne Parnell's return to the squad. I mean, he's not been
Has
that
been
great.
important.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he hasn't been that great. I mean, it's taking time for to get back to his speed or something. I found him very slow and easily he was predictable to be smacked around the ground. So
And
I
we
think
haven't mentioned the Trinity, Australian Trinity of Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins, and add to that really good
Don's
all-rounder.
favorite bowler also
Two
Zampa.
players, Daniel Sams
Yes, my
and
favorite.
Cameron Green.
Yeah,
These
they
five
have
players, all of them are capable of
Even
holding
Maxwell
the
can
power.
bowl. Even Maxwell can bowl.
Exactly.
in the power play, yes, and they also have Mitchell Marsh and Marcus Stoinis who can also well they might not bowl in the
Yes.
power play, but they can chip in.
Yeah.
They have 8 bowlers in their 11 that can actually bowl.
Yes.
That is the kind of
When will this happen with India? Yaar? I mean,
yeah.
that's the day I look
No,
forward.
but the funny thing is, back in the day, everyone like UV, Raina, Shikhar, Rohit, even Rohit used to bowl back in the day.
Sachin.
Sachin used to bowl. Ganguly was the pace bowler, that extra pace bowler.
Yeah.
I don't know. आजकल थोड़ा वो हो गया कि batters are only batting, bowlers are only
Yes.
bowling, and that's why the importance of a Hardik Pandya or a Jaddu becomes so critical,
So-
and that's why Jaddu will be.
Back in the day, we had Abdur Razak, who was the
he's very good
middle kind of guy, So he was the one of the best all-rounders. So we used to have that perfect balance that इसको you'd अभी आजकल के all-rounders ऐसे हो गए कि भाई इस्तेमाल करना नहीं करना, पहले इस्तेमाल करो फिर विश्वास करो बोल के रहता देखो, वो हो रहा है इसलिए विश्वास खाली इस्तेमाल करके अरे यार इन्हें हरा दिया यारो. We need those all-rounders back in the game. I think it's just because you mentioned, batters are batting, bowlers are bowling, and
England and Australia have never let go of that. Always keep 2-3 pace bowling all-rounders who are really good at batting and good at bowling as well. Can chip in 2-3 overs just to take the load of the bowlers. India पे कभी उस पे focus नहीं करे. काफी साल से focus नहीं करे.
इंग्लैंड नंबर 4 से सब कर सकते हैं. You start off with Stokes, Liam Livingston, Moeen Ali, सब bowling कर सकते हैं.
Exactly.
And then of course you have your bowlers.
Yeah.
So and we just coming to England also really quickly talk about England. The likes of Chris Woakes and Mark Wood, of course, are very good. Chris Woakes again in the beginning, even in the game yesterday against Australia, 3 quick wickets. In the power play, he's again another very good asset to have. Then they have someone like Jordan who can come in. They have Reece Topley also, no? Reece Topley also is there, yeah. So that is also another good bowling attack. I'm a little bit concerned about Afghanistan. We were just talking before the podcast started as well. That Afghanistan's bowlers Fazal Haq and Naveen, probably not the shine out bowlers. It's always been about Rashid, Nabi, Mujib. So how the spin will take care of how will take care of business in this will be interesting to see. But Fazal Haq has struggled in the death bowling. So
but in the power play, right?
In the power play, he's been very good.
He's a good. He contains. He's not the more prolific wicket taker in the power play, but his economy rate has always been good. It's in the death and the middle overs he has been hit for runs more often than not.
I agree.
So in the power play, I think they'll be sorted. It's the depth that they should be worried about, the last 5 overs, because they've been very inconsistent and most of the times they've lost the matches getting hit in the depth.
Yeah,
I think
they have that one Rashid Khan there to hold him there, but I think again they need to figure out the other bowler at the end who's going to take care of the death. Because Ryan mentioned that they've had a good, like till the 16th over they're good, but the last 4 overs they just lose it. एक आध दो 20 रन का over आ जाता है and then they just give it. Speaking of eligible bachelors, we have Abu Bakar all the way from Canada saying दुआ कर रहा हूँ मैं शाइन वापस फॉर्म में आ जाना गद्दार है मैं तो क्या है गद्दार है यार तुम.
But
We
it's going to
haven't
be very
mentioned.
interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry, Abrar bhai. We haven't mentioned about the West Indies bowling attack. Alzari Joseph, so impressive.
He's
I mean,
been
the one I'm
actually
looking
very
forward
good.
to. Yes.
He's actually been very, very good.
Yeah.
Alzari,
He showed potential 6 wickets for 14,
the
3 years ago.
starting with that happened against us. But
And
the
I was at the
problem,
match.
they also have Jason Holder, who's a very good, kind of an all-round bowler that they have. My problem is that I think they're giving too much importance to Odin Smith, and I seriously think that he lacks that, like that X factor that they are probably seeing something that they are in the training or whatever that they're continuing to go with him. But for me, something is a miss over there. I feel like yes, he can give you a couple of tonks in the end with the bat. He can give you those 4 overs, but I'm not entirely convinced by Odin Smith, and that's my worry because he's the other bowler that they use in the power play a lot, but he's not really proved as good or as effective. And then they have Mr. Sheldon Cottrell. Yeah, Mr. Sheldon
I was going
Cottrell.
to say
So-
Ryan's favorite bowler. Ryan's favorite
So,
bowler.
The neck
yeah.
breaker.
The neck breaker. How I'm worried for his injury. सही भी
Yes.
एकदम वो थोड़ा एज आते कि ऐसा उन्हें गल्ला को वो करता, but
Yeah.
whatever, it's working for him. So he's also good, but again he's a problem when it comes to death. So it's a little bit of a two-piece problem that they have. They have a section of bowlers that can bowl well in the power play, but then they get struggle in the death, and then they have someone who can bowl a little bit better in the death but cannot contain him through the middle. So that's the problem that I'm seeing with them.
What I think is they should use Kyle Myers for 3 overs because he's a natural swing bowler, as we've seen in the Test series against England earlier this year. So Kyle Myers as an early bowling option, move the ball around, contain the runs, change it up, variations. It will confuse the batsman. So use 3 of his overs in the power play and keep these guys who are strong in the death for the middle and death overs.
When was the last time we've seen an opening bowler and an opening batsman in this? It's the same person. Can
Irfan Pathan.
ओपनिंग करा ने
करा थोड़े मैचेस करा था
ग्रेग चावल करके उसका करियर ही क्लोज कर दिया. ओपन क्या करेगा उन्हें.
नंबर 3 पे खेला बोल के याद आ रहा, but I don't remember exactly.
नंबर 3 पे खेला है ओपन एक आध मैच ओपन करा होगा.
Yeah, but this is actually a very good shout, like Kyle Myers to open the batting over extra cover kind of 6, but then he can also swing the ball and bowl.
But this will never happen in gully cricket. If Kyle Myers will never be allowed to open batting and open bowling.
देखो काइल मायर्स अगर बैट या बॉल लाया तो देन मे बी
दोनों लाया तो अकेले खेल सकता.
गली का रूल वही है भाई, जो बैट लाया उसकी बैटिंग पहले.
गली क्रिकेट में रूल्स कंप्लीटली अलग रहते हैं, वो नहीं चलता यहाँ पे. But anyway, so I think that's about the power play bowlers. Let's move on to what I find most interesting, and I think that will be the most critical cog in the bowling units will be the spinners, the middle overs, where you can contain plus take the wickets, and we are starting to see some really good spinners. Let's just start off with like the usual favorites. There's Chahal, there's Zampa, there's Hasaranga. Then, but then what most important for me, I think one of the bowlers that I'm looking forward to is Tabraiz Shamsi. So I'm going to start off with this one because I think he's over the past 3-4 years really developed as a good leg spinner, and he's that Chinaman kind of bowler, left arm, kind of like Shane Warne in his own way. Obviously, Shane Warne is a big target to achieve, but I think in his own way, I think he's really coming out to be his own. I'm excited to see how Shamsi performs. But Ryan, let's go with you again first over here. Who are the bowlers spin bowlers that you're looking forward to?
Of course, Akshar Patel and Yuzvendra Chahal are the ones I'm looking forward to, and Shadab Khan. Shadab Khan had not a great Asia Cup, but he is somebody who his performance in the last T20 World Cup, especially in the final, especially in the semi-final and in the Asia Cup as well, a couple of games in the Asia Cup. Shadab Khan is someone I'm looking forward to. And then you've got Yannick Karaya. I was really, again, I mentioned it yesterday as well. I was really impressed with his performance against Australia in the T20 series. And you've got your Sri Lankans in Mahesh Theekshana, Vanindu Hasaranga, and Dhananjaya also chips in if he's played. So you've got these guys, and one spinner we didn't, and Shakib Al Hasan for Bangladesh.
Yeah.
I hope
Unless he doesn't lose,
fixes up
get
his
angry.
exactly. Exactly. He should not lose his cool. That's very important. So you've got your Shakib Al Hasan. And these are pretty much the spinners I'm looking forward to. You already mentioned Zampa, and then you've got Santner and Soti as well.
Yeah. And there's also just one before Faiz I get to you. I think the other one that we haven't talked about in the recent series, anything he's touching is turning into gold, is Bracewell. He had in the finals against Pakistan as well, 4 overs, 14 runs, 2 wickets, and he's been consistently bowling well for New Zealand. So I think, they might be that, because sometimes Sodhi kind of gets a little bit expensive, but they found a nice replacement in Bracewell, because he can chip in with the bat as well. So number
Right,
7 and 8,
exactly.
if you have Bracewell and Santner, that makes it a very formidable kind of a side
Yeah.
for New Zealand. But that remains to be seen which kind of 11 they go with. But I think he's a very good asset to have. But Faiz, the guy who you're looking forward to?
Rashid Bhai. Rashid
Yeah,
Bhai. And one
Bolo
all-rounder
Rashid.
we didn't mention also, I don't know if he might play or not, but Moin Bhai. Even Moin Bhai is like
Moin Bhai, yes.
experienced spinner and also an all-rounder, like we were talking about. Like, we don't see a lot of all-rounders, but Moin Bhai is someone who has amazing batting as well. He can come and, sort of hold the fort with, good, decent, economical overs. So Moin Bhai is also someone that I'd be looking forward to. And obviously apna Chahal. But Chahal not been that great in form recently. But I hope he picks up, apart from the reels on Instagram, he picks up his bowling here as well.
The thing with Moeen Ali is that, you said he's economical, but I think he whenever, he comes against a good right and left hand batting combination, he gets expensive. So I'm looking more forward to Adil Rashid more than Moeen Ali in the England team. Adil Rashid always reliable, or more often than not, against India he has performed very well. So Adil Rashid is someone I'm looking for, and Keshav Maharaj too. You mentioned Tabrez Shamsi, right? But you got Keshav Maharaj, and you've got another spin option in Tristan Stubbs over there.
Yeah.
For South Africa.
Yeah. So let's just do this, right? In terms of a bowling kind of pairing, the spin pair, we have the likes of Shadab and Nawaz, we have the likes of Chahal and Aksar, Shamsi and Maharaj. We just spoke about Moin and Adil Rashid. Then we have Rashid and Nabi and Mujib. We have Zampa and Maxwell. Who is your favorite kind of bowling pair that you want to see, if they have to bowl 4-5 overs in tandem?
Hasranga and Theekshala. I just love those two. I really like that pair.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Faiz, you?
I don't know. It's sort of confusing because पूरे अच्छे options दिख रहे हैं, but I'd go with my conventional India. India की bowling best है.
Akshar Patel and
if Akshar Patel is actually a very good bowler, but I want to see how he performs in Australian conditions. In India, there's no doubt he's like you miss I hit kind of guy, and he's been very, very, very. He's been a very critical part since Judd. Yeah, consistency both. But Australian conditions, I'm a little intrigued to see how. Yeah, and he doesn't give you as much as with the bat as Jaddu would. So I'm a little bit, I'm thinking about that. But yeah, let's see how that plays out. But for me, I think personally, I'm looking forward to Shamsi and Maharaj. I think after the fast bowling that they have, and I've already made my bias very clear, I'm looking forward to the South African bowling unit. But I think Shamsi and Maharaj would be the kind of the bet for me.
Who would you think is be the best spinner at the one if you had to pick?
Zampa.
Australian conditions.
I already Kalish bol diya my Zampa.
Zampa I don't know. I feel Rashid Bhai will be doing good because he's played a lot of Big Bash as well, and he got vast experience in Australia. So Rashid
and
Bhai
he's still only 23 years old.
Yeah,
can you imagine?
And Shahid Afridi is still 35. I mean, you can say that too. Yes.
Well, yeah. If we're going that route, then that's another debate.
Yes.
But apart from the spinners, are you looking forward to any medium pace kind of bowlers in the middle overs?
Jimmy Neesham.
Jimmy Neesham, great bowler.
I was talking to Faiz about this before the podcast.
I'm also looking forward to Stoinis and Marsh. I think that those two are very handy bowlers to come in the middle.
How about Ben Stokes, coming back into T20 cricket after 18-19 months, how he'll adjust to playing limited overs and bowling those lengths as compared to Test cricket? Because he's not a medium pacer. He can generate a lot of pace and he can generate a lot of bounce. So on those Australian pitches, Ben Stokes is going to be a really good weapon for them in the middle overs. Choke one end of the pitch.
I don't know if it was in the yesterday's episode or the one that me and Musti did when we launched the channel,
Start.
but there was I thought in Crick Quiz opened up a debate about how Ben Stokes is actually spoiling the balance of the English side. So I don't know if it was yesterday. I don't think it was, but
First episode.
it was in the first episode, right? So he's actually spoiling the balance because apparently coming in with minimal experience, he's either Harry Brooks or Liam Livingston loses his place because of this, right? And they don't really need a number 4 player who can actually bowl because they have everyone from 5 to 11 who can bowl. So they don't need
Yes.
that. So someone like a Harry Brooks who's actually in form is losing his place to a Ben Stokes who may or may not click. So that is something that I'm looking forward to and seeing if England will be ruthless enough to give him a game or two, and if it doesn't work out, actually drop him. But I don't think they will. But it remains to be seen. So that is something I'm looking forward to.
But Livingston is injured for the first game or two, I think. So
Correct.
Ben Stokes, I think he will play the first 2 group matches, no doubt about that.
And then if he
After
doesn't
that, it's going
perform,
to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, then that will be interesting between
Yeah.
Brook, Stokes, and Livingston.
I think it might be a straight swap especially if Brooks gives you a couple of 30s or whatever in quick succession towards the end. Then it's a straight swap for Livingston and Stokes. But will that happen? We'll have to kind of wait and see. But I think is there any other
मेन मैन पंटर सिंह विराट कोहली
विराट कोहली
अरे भाई बैटिंग आ जान दो पहले विराट भाई को
हाँ,
अनुष्का के
वही।
पीछे पड़े हुए खाली
Oh.
विराट भाई को
आप
बैटिंग आ
हमेशा
जान दो
बैट्समैन के फैमिली पे कहीं को चले जाते हो भाई अपने वहां पे
भाई-
कल अथिया सुनील आज अनुष्का शर्मा अब कल किसके ऊपर
भाई-
जाने वाले हैं क्या
टेंशन रहता है यार एक बीवी बच्चे
हाँ।
खैरियत है नहीं है वो पूरा देखना पड़ता है यार वो एक रिस्पॉन्स बोल रहा तुम 22 है अभी इंटर्नशिप की एज है तुम्हारी
इसकी शादी नहीं हुई, इसको टेंशन आप बोलते रहे
हाँ,
भाई ने
टेंशन
शादी
हाँ।
होने के बाद क्या होता कि इसका
अपने
इसलिए-
अबू भाई पूछ रहे हैं हु इज इंग्लैंड्स ओपनिंग प्लेयर भाई कल का एपिसोड देखो साहब
How if you're talking about the batting, you have to look at yesterday. But if you're talking about the bowling, it might be Chris Wokes and Mark Wood.
डेविड
Wood,
विली
yeah.
प्रॉब्ली
Will I have a feeling?
विलियम बीच में आएगा
I have a feeling कि विली को नहीं खिलाएंगे. I think they will
अच्छा,
play
नहीं खिलाएंगे।
Chris Wokes and they'll play Reece Topley because I think he's been bowling well.
लेफ्ट आर्म या
So left arm and Sam Curran also. So either Sam Curran is a good opening option, but they might use an over or two of him in that, and Chris Jordan will lose his place to Sam Curran, I think. So yeah, that's probably. But I think Chris Wokes definitely up front, and they might go with Reece Topley and Sam Curran for an over each on either side of things.
England has a
And-
lot of options actually
And then they can bring in a Moin Ali, they can bring in a Ben Stokes, they can bring in a Adil Rashid, who they usually don't use that much in the power play, but he usually comes in number 7 through 13 में 3 over डालता फिर एक 15th over डाल के he खत्म हो जाता है. So that's a English bowling is along with Australian I think is the most in terms of their options. मतलब literally every player को खाली 2 over देते हो ना 20 over almost हो जाते खत्म.
एग्जैक्टली
So that's the good thing about them. But now let's get back to the most important thing. I think the most important last 4 overs. Yeah, death bowling ka jo problem. I think almost every side is facing it. It's not only India. India has been facing it, and we are criticizing it because we follow Indian cricket a little bit more. But I think overall we've noticed everyone is struggling with this death bowling because the batsmen have become smarter. They are using these 360 kind of shots. Everyone is hitting it all around the park, and it's become impossible to. हाँ ये भी खराब करा लेकिन अभी हर जाना कर रहा हूँ यार स्काई सूर्य कुमार को देखो
स्काई
हाँ वो तो क्या था यार वो।
Unbelievable. Is this
उसकी शॉट
unbelievable?
मेकिंग इज एट अनदर लेवल बिकॉज़ उसका कॉन्फिडेंस इतना हाई है एट द मोमेंट
And I told Musti this in our previous episodes that his downfall is only his head. He's going to think of 3 different shots to play on one ball because he's so talented, and that he's going to make a mistake and he's going to get out. That's the only fault, nothing else. If he can have a clear mind when he comes out, and if he can take the ball on merit and score one shot, everything, I think he can be very, very good. But yeah, so the problem is you're facing is the short ball is going behind the keeper for 6.
Yes.
The full outside off is being sliced next to
point.
third man for 4,
Yeah.
or the Yorker is being kind of fiddled and your leg is moving and वो पीछे square leg पे
पीछे
charge
जा
के लिए
रहा।
चल रहा. समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या करना.
थोड़े
So-
गिरा के तो यॉर्कर को फुल लेंथ बना के वो छिक्का मार देता है
हाँ,
आगे
हाँ,
आगे।
Yeah,
बाहर
exactly.
आके कर रहे. The slow ball, if you're picking it, is going straight over long on for a
Yes,
straight
yeah.
down 6. If you're picking it, so it's become very difficult for the
bowling-
bowlers now.
death bowling is very tough to analyze, Abrar bhai. You know, it is very luck dependent. It all depends on the what form the current game state जो है what kind of form the batsmen are in, how many balls they have faced. That is what it depends on. If you get two players who have faced 30 balls and scored 50 runs plus, or even a player who scored 30 plus balls and another one who has scored 10, 12 balls, and then you come into the last 5 overs, the chances are, from my analysis, not Crickwiz or any one of these guys, 75 to 80% of the time, they'll get probably 60 to 65 runs in the last 5 overs. But if you get two new batsmen, you won't cross more than 40 runs.
That's
So
actually a very
it
good
all
point.
depends on game state.
Yeah.
It does not depend on who are the bowlers and all. Even Bumrah, most informed death bowler at one time against Australia, because they had set Tim David and who was there? I can't remember.
Matthew Wade, no?
Daniel Sams. Daniel Sams and Tim David both were set in the last 5 overs. Those guys scored almost 65 runs in the last 5 overs. So you see, it all depends on the game state.
Yeah. Fantastic analysis by Ryan. That's why we give him the big bucks. Fair,
भाई एक
give us
वेबसाइट
your
खोल लो
analysis.
भाई एक वेबसाइट खोल लो मैं वहीं से आके मार लेता एनालिसिस
But fair,
Open
but-
source रखा हुआ पूरा.
Fez, let's open source. Very good show.
Oh.
But Fez, let's start with you this time. Who is the death bowling pair that you're looking forward to, or the bowler, if there's one person that you're looking forward to?
I think वही पाकिस्तान की अटैक बेस्ट एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम सॉलिड ज्यादा रन्स नहीं दिए एशिया आरिस रऊफ ज्यादा रन्स नहीं दिए एशिया कप में भी इन द एंड बट ऑब्वियसली लास्ट मैच में अनफॉर्चुनेट हो गए लेकिन फिर भी दे हैव अ गुड स्ट्रीक ऑफ couple of matches in the end जहाँ पे अपन देख रहे कि they're finishing it, they're not just leaving it loose. कोई loose knots नहीं रख रहे जो previous years में अपन देखे. So I think पाकिस्तान का attack.
It's a very good shot. I think Pakistan has been very good overall, just in general. The Ryan, what about you? I'll give you my analysis after.
A death bowler, I mean, it's tough for me to give one single bowler, but although he hasn't played IPL in the last 3-4 years, it's going to be Mitchell Stark. I mean, last year against in the T20 World Cup, he was abused on social media for being absolutely out of form and getting hit all over the place. But against England, he performed well in the death overs. So I'm going for Mitchell Stark.
So for me, I think the bowler that I'm excited about, I think he's now coming to the stage very, very strongly, is Arshdeep. I think even overall, I think wo bichara, even though Bhuvi in the Asia Cup 2-3 over mein he 19th over got whacked for 20-30 runs, you need only 5 runs off the last over. He came in and he performed and he made it a little hard for them. So he's been good IPL consistently over past 2-3 years, but I think now breaking into the Indian scene also, he's showing some good skill and some good quality. Can he maintain this? That remains to be seen. But for right now, I think he's a good kind of good source to go to.
I would like to amend my decision. Actually, it's not going to be Mitchell Stark. It's going to be Mustafizur Rahman. I'm really intrigued.
Good shout.
अपना Bangladeshi pace bowling Muralidhar. His slower balls from the back of the hand. I'm really excited to watch this.
Yeah. And back in 2015, 2016, when IPL Sunrisers won, he was so good. He was such an important,
Him and Bhubanesh.
Important. Yeah, him and Bhuvi were very good. And if they come back in the last 2-3 overs, 18, 19, 20, never gave runs away, which was very important, I think. So yeah. So for me, I think Arshdeep, the bowler that I'm looking forward to also is Harshal, because he's lost that form that we were seeing. Yeah. Because he was bowling well in the IPL. Then he came and burst into the Indian scene, bowled well for about a year in the Indian scene. Injury se baad se he's just really struggled. And of course, people take time to get into their rhythm and everything. You have to back someone who's been consistent for about 2-3 years. But now is the time for him to really take the step, because now we're missing Bumrah and he's probably the mainstay kind of. Shami, of course, is obviously the other option, but I think he's your go-to death bowling option now. So you really need to buck up over there and show the goods for Harshal. But anyone else? Of course, we've spoken about Kagiso Rabada being the three-dimensional bowler. Who else is there? Is there anyone else that you're looking forward to?
Daniel Sams from Australia, Daniel Sams and Mitchell Stark. Those two are the ones I think will be trusted in the death. Stoinis also with his off-cutters, probably.
Do you think Sams gets a game?
Sams, it depends. Although I'm a very big fan of Pat Cummins, I don't believe he's the best T20 bowler they have. I think Sams deserves to play over Cummins purely because he's a better T20 bowler. In ODIs and Tests, Cummins is, far and away better than Sams or any other bowler that Australia actually do have. So I hope Sams gets a game because, that left-handed aspect. and he's a good Yorker bowler, and he can bowl a good slower ball as well. So Sam's is one, and I don't know. Sri Lanka have a good pace bowler, that Chamika Karunaratnane and some Madhushanka. I think they
Yeah,
impressed me in the Asia Cup. So
yeah.
I think those two are also someone we should be looking out for if they qualify, and and hopefully and Lockie Ferguson from New Zealand. That is
Loki,
another
yeah.
person I'm looking forward to in the
And then
depth.
of course Bolt himself,
Bolt.
is a
Bolt himself,
decent,
exactly.
yeah, decent.
But Bolt has not having a very like he's very wayward is what I feel like. If he goes then अच्छा over आया तो अच्छा हुआ नहीं तो he's very bad. Even in the IPL, if you see, he's not had a very good record. For us also,
And
he wasn't that great. In Mumbai also, he was just alright.
yeah, and now he is now doesn't have the central contract with New Zealand as well, so
Exactly.
he has to really up his T20 game if he wants those. I'm
Yeah.
still sure he's well sought out for, and he's going to get those big contracts for the next 2 3 years. But
Yeah.
he has to continue kind of evolving himself if he wants to play for a longer
Exactly.
period of time for these big bashes and whatnot.
I mean,
So
New Zealand Fakir board hai bahut. I mean, what? I mean, he's going to earn more playing the leagues and all than playing for New Zealand. If you look at it from
and
a
Yeah.
business standpoint,
And I
yeah,
Yeah.
don't blame anyone except for India because they pay a lot of money. I think
yes,
anybody else who leaves the central contract to play
huh.
play these big
Exactly,
bashes or whatever is totally due because उन लोगों का career span भी कम रहता है ना.
yeah,
So you don't know much what happens after you become a coach. You don't know. Of course, there's a lot of opportunity because of the IPL and the bashes and everything that you get. But I'm pretty sure Bolt will get a decent coaching gig after this. But you still have a shorter career span, and I don't think coaches make as much as you can probably by playing a season of the IPL or a season of the Big Bash or any other league will give you some kind of money. So that's pretty decent. So I don't blame them. Who else is there? Are you looking for any spinning options in the last four? Would you consider that at all or no?
uh, Rashid Khan probably one, and
That's
just
the
the
only one
thing,
that comes to mind.
and this again, I'm sorry, I'm mentioning them again. Sri Lanka. I mean, they have so many
Like,
spinners on their boards.
Tikshana.
yeah.
Theekshana in the power play in the middle overs. I mean, he only has 4 overs to bowl. But
Yeah.
if they, if they are able to divide it correctly among themselves, then they have another guy. I think Jaya Vikrama or someone,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
Jeffrey Van Der Sar. These
They
guys,
even
the
have they
spinners
even
are
have
always.
Mendes also, like Kusal Mendes, leg spinner.
Kusal Mendes is
नहीं नहीं
opener भाई.
हाँ
उन्हें स्पिन नहीं करता उन्हें
Spin
बैटिंग
नहीं
का है.
करता.
बैटिंग का मेंडिस है.
हाँ वो
Yeah,
पुराना
4 Mendes
मेंडिस
है
तो
उधर.
ना वो है.
10 10 12
Ajanta
साल
Mendes.
पहले अजंता मेंडिस तो बेचारा श्रीलंका के लीग्स में खेल रहा वो क्या है वो द थिंग
वो
सचिन तेंदुलकर एंड ऑल आर प्लेइंग राइट नाउ
रोड सेफ्टी वो तो
रोड
Road
जयसूर्या भी
सेफ्टी
safety.
खेल रहा है. वो तो जयसूर्या भी
जयसूर्या
कर
भी
रहा.
खेल रहा जयसूर्या वाज टॉप he never
Did you
opened
see
the
his
bowling.
innings? Did you see his
Yeah.
innings though for road safety?
No.
No, I haven't watched road
जबरदस्त
safety.
जबरदस्त फोड़ा था.
मनप्रीत गोली का देख के मैं फिर मैं कभी नहीं देखा रोड से.
Yeah, some interesting characters बेचारे उनला नमन हो जाए. I don't know what they're thinking, but it is
Namanuja
what it
not
is.
an interesting player. Namanuja crucial cog in Sunrisers IPL victory. Bhai.
I
Come
think
on.
That is
नमानुजा
true.
को
That
अपन
is
ने चढ़ा के
Namanuja
रख
was
दिया.
one of the most underrated players we've had. I think.
Yeah,
नहीं यार वो ने
Namath was
he didn't stand out. I mean when it came to India, he never made an impact. मेरे लिए तो कुछ ज्यादा crazy काम नहीं कर रहा.
for India, yeah.
ये
But
क्या दो matches
अजय रत रहा था.
we talk about bowlers.
Dude, that was-
Sorry guys for veering off topic.
But-
Let's get back
But
on track.
yeah, but I think that's kind of about it, right? In terms of the death bowlers you're looking forward to. But let's get on to the last piece of business over here, and that is your top 3 bowling picks overall. Like it doesn't have to be power play, doesn't have mid overs, doesn't have to
Okay.
be, but just the 3 bowlers that you're looking forward to in the tournament, and you think that are going to perform well for their respective teams. Faiz, let's start with you on this one.
Arshdeep, Rashid Khan, and Pakistan ka I'm thinking which one. Naseem.
Naseem. Okay, that's a good shout. You're keeping it very South Asian, Asia Cup के players को. But
I'm going Western now. So
उन्ना सबसे ज्यादा खेल रहा है यार. उन्ना सबसे ज्यादा खेल रहा है अभी.
that is true. Okay, Ryan, let's go.
I'm going for Rashid Khan, number one pick for me again. And I'm going. The second one that I'll be going for is Alzari Joseph. I really like him. And the third one I'll be going for is this is a tough one. Let's go for Anrik Nokia. brutal pace. I'm just going for like pace. So
Very
Joseph
good.
Nokia and
Yeah,
Rashid.
Rashid Khan बोले ना यार? हाँ.
Huh.
Yes.
Very good shout. I'm gonna go a little. I mean, of course, I've already mentioned two of my three bowlers. I think
Zampa
I've said
Rabada.
so.
Zampa Rabada.
Clearly, I'm making it very obvious. But my
Yes.
third choice, मैं थोड़ा confuse कर दूँ तुम लोगों को. I'm gonna go with Adil Rashid. I think he's going to be an important kind of England may, not talked about as much because
Yeah.
England is just so diverse with their options. But I think Adil Rashid might be someone that actually chips in whenever needed for England. Whenever they need a wicket, I think he comes in and he chips in the as needed. But yeah, I think that's about it. If anyone in the comments wants to send their top three options as well,
Whenever
uh,
I send, he says Zampa, Arshdeep,
Vinay
and
bhai,
Hussain,
how are you?
Akil.
yeah, that's
Hussain.
actually a
Akil,
Akil
slow
Hussain
left
is,
arm.
yeah, slow left arm. I think he's thinking about that one catch that Akil Hussain wo right
Yeah.
back at the bowler. वो
Back,
दिमाग
back.
में sometimes it just sits in the player. But I think we'll talk about Vinay offline about his love for Akil Hussain and maybe have him come on to our podcast and explain
Yeah.
what he likes so much about Akil Hussain. But
The
that's a
name, I
good
think.
shout. That's a new, yeah. But I think Zampa and Arshdeep, I think have been are I think in
Yeah.
our
Everyone, yeah,
in our
everybody's list.
analysis as well. Yeah, I think Arshdeep, I also said I'm looking forward to. But I think before we close off for the day, Faiz, I know you before our podcast you had a very important question about a certain player that India have not picked. Can you please put some light on that?
Which player? मैं भूल गया कौन सा
अरे
player है?
उमरान मलिक को कहीं को ले बोले ना जी.
उमरान,
Exactly.
yeah. Sorry, मैं एकदम slip हो गया. उमरान भाई कश्मीर में ना दूर है अपने से. But yeah, my question is like, why didn't you pick Umran Malik? यार, his track record IPL में insane है यार. He's taking wickets left, right, center. Though obviously there were one or matches जहाँ लोग figure out करे थे उसको, but वो
Yeah.
pace तो unbeatable pace है यार, 150, and there's no other bowler currently that's hitting the deck that hard.
Politics है आंसर इसका. Politics.
What do you
Also,
guys think? I mean, what do you guys think if from a team selection standpoint, did he deserve a chance or not for India in the last two series जो खेले अपन?
Ryan, you want to go
T20.
first?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the picks they have made, except Arshdeep, it seems that experience is the factor they are going for, first and foremost. I mean, they want to use these guys and see how it's going to happen because they've given you results in the past. So I think it's purely experience basis. And Arshdeep, when he got the chance, unlike Umran, when he got the chance in India, he took it with both hands. So Arshdeep, I think, and he has done nothing with his bowling, especially fielding. He dropped a couple of catches, no doubt. But with his bowling, I don't think he has done anything to prove that he doesn't deserve to be on this team. He hasn't. He's there in the team on merit. Umran ka kya hai on his IPL record, but playing in an international.
देखो अर्शदीप prior to this अर्शदीप IPL में perform करा, right? Before that IPL में भी उन्हें इतना
I know
अच्छा नहीं
Umran
था.
दिख रहा.
Through
Umran
the
दिख रहा,
stages आया. Umran, no, मेरा argument नहीं है, मतलब अपन Umran, I like Umran
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
bowler, but my point is like Arshdeep is the same thing then. Arshdeep got a chance and he proved himself, and then he's sort of now eased his way into the team. So he's become one
अगर
of
आप
the team.
इंडिविजुअली दोनों बॉलर्स को देखें, अर्शदीप फार मोर एक्यूरेट देन उमरान, ठीक है, फार मोर रिलायबल देन उमरान. उमरान एक मर्क्यूरियल टाइप ऑफ टैलेंट है. उसका क्या है, उन्हें जब चली ना तो मोहम्मद अली टाइप है. When he's on it, he'll get you 5 wickets. But if he's not on it, he'll give you no wickets and go for 55 runs. So
Yeah.
in a T20
But I
knockout
think
competition, it's tough. You need someone who
Correct.
perform in all 6 matches.
My point
And go
exactly.
for-
So at least he should have gotten one attempt or one chance in the last series where जहाँ पे शिखर धवन and भी खेले. I think he deserved a chance to give that kind of
I
a
agree
bit
with
of an
that.
experience.
I agree with that.
Because वो talent harness नहीं करेंगे. आप उन्हें चिड़े में आके कहाँ तो भी खेलना शुरू कर देंगे. Then he goes to the bit like Vinay bhai currently saying, oh my god, I remember this player very well, Varun Aaron. He shouldn't turn out to be another Varun Aaron. तो वो
Which
Varun
is a
Aaron
very
का
good,
तो
yeah, which is a very good point. See, what I also notice, and just to kind of add to Ryan's point about him being a chali to chali nahi to Muhammad Ali type of situation, what Sunrisers have also done, and if you notice, and Mustika favorite comment hai ye, that IPL is very different than international cricket. He always says that whenever he's leading the show or whatever. But what I always also think is that Sunrisers, the way they used him in the middle overs. They didn't use him in the power play. They didn't use him much in the dead bowling. Whenever they did, for whatever reason, he got whacked. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at an international stage where all 11 players are top players, it becomes a little different. But I completely agree with the fact that they should start harnessing the talent and
Exactly.
refining this talent. But I think right now, I think he's too raw, and that's why he didn't get a
Yeah.
chance in the World Cup. And also, like Ryan said, experience, because you already have Arshdeep, who's kind of new into the stage. They want someone like a Bhuvi, Shami, and a Harshal who've had now the experience to play in these pressure situations. India Pakistan is no mug of a game.
Yeah.
Puri dunya, 1 billion Indians plus how many of a million are in Pakistan are looking, and everyone is glued to the screen.
Yeah.
Plus, there's everyone in America like me who's an avid cricket fan who's also sitting and getting ready at 11 o'clock in the
And the
night to watch the
diaspora,
game.
England,
Last time.
Australia, all these people will be
Yeah.
supporting some
Everywhere in the
billions.
world. So we are talking
Yeah.
about half the world probably watching. About our 7.5 billion की population में आप 3 billion तो पकड़ ही लो जो
Yes.
लोग देख के interest में देख रहे India Pakistan. That's how big it becomes, and then that
Yeah.
pressure can get to you. So that's probably
Yeah.
why they've not gone for him.
बिल्कुल एग्री कर तुम्हें, यंग है अभी, बहुत टाइम है, बट मेरा इतना ही है कि भाई आप अर्शदीप को भी वही ट्रस्ट दिए विद द बॉल. एंड आई मीन अर्शदीप बहुत ज्यादा आईपीएल खेला उसके हिसाब से कंपेयर टू उमरान. ही स्पेंड अ लॉट मोर क्रिकेट. बट आप ये लास्ट के टू में तो लाइक दे वर प्लेयर्स दैट बिल्कुल लाइक आशीष खान एंड ऑल दिस काइंड पीपल. आई मीन कौन है मेरे को तो मालूम भी नहीं, बट
आशीष
लाइक
खान को ना
आशीष खान नहीं,
आवेश खान
आवेश खान आशीष खान से याद आ रहा. आवेश खान, तो आवेश खान की लगा ऐसा एक आध दो उसको भी दिया है, तो लाइक एक एक्सपीरियंस होता बॉय को
But
कि
एक
how it
और
works at center.
जी, one more thing, Amran bhai, that works in favor of Arshdeep is that he's the only decent left-handed bowling option that we
Yeah,
have.
that is true. That
वो
is
एक है.
true, and that makes a very big
That
difference.
also
Yeah.
gives him the advantage immediately over Umran. Experience रहो, performance रहो.
Yeah.
ये left-hander है. इसलिए
And
उन्हें आ गया टीम में.
And there's also as you noticed in the India A side that played in South Africa and the ODIs, they bought a Mukesh Kumar who's a left-arm bowler because they want to harness that
Yes.
talent. He didn't even know till he joined the WhatsApp group apparently that he's part of
Yeah.
the team or whatever.
They should get Mohsin Khan also now.
Yeah, they should get Mohsin. They should also get who's that Mukesh Chakrabarti. I want to say
Mukesh
that
Chaudhary,
IPL Chaudhary. He's
He's
also
a net bowler. For the World
he's
Cup.
playing for net bowler. Yeah, so some good bowlers there. They have to start giving opportunities to these youngsters, because if someone is not working, like Faiz said, I think these are the talented bowlers, especially like someone like
Now you
Imran
see,
should get a
now for
chance.
an example, like if you take it, अभी ही ले लो भाई, अगर Burman's injured and we have Shami coming right back from injury, and that अगर उसको इंजरी हो गई तो कौन बचा? एक भुवनेश्वर है और एक हर्षल है, तो आई मीन थोड़ा रिस्की. सिराज भाई भी जरा ऐसा ही है, बेचारों को टाइम लगता है, खाली नाचना खाना है उनका भी मसला, लेकिन फिर भी यू कांट लाइक कंप्लीटली उनके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट नहीं रह सकते. तो आई थिंक वही जैसा बिल्ड करना शुरू कर देना. वी ऑलवेज बीन वेरी स्लो टू बिल्ड द यूथ. बैटिंग में उल्टा है, बैटिंग में उल्टा है. बैटिंग में दे विल स्टार्ट गिविंग पीपल 19 की उम्र से मनीष पांडे को भी ला लिया, उसको भी ला लिया, बट ये बॉलिंग का कभी नहीं करते अपन.
So good
वो
point.
tentative रहते, because they don't want. एक चीज है, I'll give BCCI the sector benefit of the doubt कि they don't want these bowlers to get exposed in the international arena at such a young age. बोलो कि development hamper हो सकती. The way they take the, अगर 65 runs मार दिए 4 overs में on the debut for no wickets, then and we know how fickle media and social media जो लोग हैं, गालियां गलोच पढ़ते हैं वो लोग online. So
True.
they want to shield them from that, bring them into a less low pressure environment. Suppose a series against Bangladesh at home, then or Bangladesh wherever, subcontinent nation, then you get Umran, then you get your Mukesh Kumar, and then you get your Mukesh Chaudhary and your Kuldeep Sen, all these players. You give them a chance against them. Their aggregate first wicket, they haven't done that enough. They still go with their the Avesh Khan and your Shardul Thakur and your Deepak Jain. But I mean, once you start trusting the young blood in these situations, then it will give them a platform to go and perform in the high pressure environments.
Yeah.
I mean, देखो कहीं सही है, मीडिया प्रोटेक्ट करते अपन ये सब करते, बट लाइक वो सिचुएशन भी फेस कर लेते हैं, एंड देन इवेंचुअली मोल्ड लाइक जब धोनी देता था, धोनी तो जोगिंदर शर्मा को यार जो इवन न्यू इसको लाके
फर्स्ट कैप्टनसी थी, अब पुलिस वाला है.
बखोल डॉन के आधी दुनिया का दिल ऐसा मार लिया, अरे पुलिस वाला कौन है, और पुलिस वाला आके बॉलिंग कर रहा है. सो आई मीन टाइम है वो तो यार.
I think Joginder Sharma in this current where it's become so very minute scales maybe problem because 2007 May first World Cup, not a lot of T20 was played. You got away with someone like a Joginder, but today you can't. That is the thing.
Joginder Sharma won't even make his own Ranji team. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
that big.
So yeah.
This
But
over
anyway,
कुछ
I
भी
think
बोला, we are interpreted to जोगिंदर भाई। जोगिंदर भाई बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका।
yeah,
बोल।
that's
yeah,
true.
मिसबा का हौला पर था.
We are indebted to Misbah more than Joginder, I think, because उन्होंने
Yes.
गलती का शॉट मारे.
Yes.
वो श्रीशांत को भी कैच पकड़ा ना, कल याद नहीं आ रहा था, आज याद आ
श्रीशांत.
गया।
था. आज आ रहा था यार.
तो माँ मेरे को तो इतना टेंशन था श्रीशांत नीचे था बोल के, बहुत टेंशन था. But anyway,
ऐसा सा करा था उन्हें एकदम कैच लेके ऐसा दरिया में.
The worst thing in that whole thing was मिसबा जब शॉट मारा ना, कैमरा वाला सीधा क्राउड में चले आता।
हाँ,
तो अब ना समझे, अरे सिक्स यार, अरे
Six
क्या
जा रहा
ये
हूँ,
रे,
exactly.
क्यों गिरते की वाला।
6 to win था, 3 balls I think.
I think 6 of 3
Yeah,
कुछ था.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that wraps it up. I think a
Yeah.
good episode. Thank you guys for coming on, Ryan Fez. And we will catch you tomorrow. I think we are thinking about the all-rounder section. We'll talk about that. We'll let you guys know in advance. So please join us, and thank you for watching. And please like and share and subscribe.
Shout out to all the
Come on
people
guys,
who
share and
joined us
subscribe. Come
today.
on guys.
Everyone who joined
Shout
us
out.
today,
Yeah,
thank you
yes.
so much, and please continue to subscribe and like. I think
Yes,
that's
guys.
important for us.
Support
Shout
the
out to
channel.
Abu.
Support.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Abu
Thank
Bakr.
you guys. Have a nice
Abu,
day.
get them Canadian followers, brother.
Yeah, and Vinay and Punter, as usual, always diehard loyal supporters. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Bye.